Why does it have to be a rule that you need to pick up the rose even if you're not giving it out? Left the rose on the little plate. Lefty. Hello people, welcome back to our show. I'm Maria.
Hi guys, what's up? I'm Channice.
And this is our podcast, Cinema Chicks. In today's episode, we're talking about week 7 of season 25 of The Bachelor.
But first, there has been a lot going on in Bachelor Nation, and we need to address it.
Yeah, and Chris Harrison, we're looking at you.
Oh, shots fired.
Yeah.
So guys, we had originally intended, we had recorded something before, and so we're just going to play that recording or insert it right after this so that you guys can hear what our views were at that time, and then we'll come back in because more has developed. It's a developing situation. More has developed since then.
We're going to come back and continue the conversation and then get into this week's episode. So stay tuned, guys.
Right. Go have a listen.
After we recorded our weekly episode for The Bachelor,
a serious issue arose, and we felt like we would be shortchanging our audience if we didn't address this issue.
So a couple of weeks in the back, apparently it's been about 6 to 7 weeks now, there was a post that emerged about Rachel Kirkconnell, who is Rachel on this season of The Bachelor.
The first thing I saw was a girl on TikTok posting that it's funny how Rachel is on this season of The Bachelor and she used to make fun of her in high school for dating black guys. I feel like that is what really started a domino effect of maybe then people went on to dig into her past, and we see pictures surface of Rachel attending an antebellum party that is a celebration of the old South.
Right. So I think it was that latter part that got a lot of fire in the media.
Right.
And Rachel Lindsay, who was the first black bachelorette of the franchise, and she's now a correspondent for Extra. She is now interviewing Chris Harrison, the host of the franchise.
I feel like a lot of the fans are getting a sense that Rachel's role in this season is very significant. Some also believe strongly that Rachel might have even won the season, which is why ABC is going on this media run to clear her name before she even comes out and says anything, because it is peculiar that she has said nothing, but ABC is sending out Chris Harrison on the front lines to come and address the issue.
First, he says that we are looking at what happened with Rachel in the lens of 2021,
as opposed to what was going on and acceptable in 2018.
He also says that he's not the woke police.
I just want to interject here. The amount of times Chris Harrison used the term woke police was nauseating.
Yeah. Him using that term repeatedly came across to me that being woke right now is a trend. He didn't say that what is happening right now is serious and it is recognized and it pushes change.
Right.
He's just saying, oh, well, I'm not the woke police, and if we're woke right now and what's happening with the woke people right now is that this is the case.
He keeps on contextualizing it in the fact that, was it wrong in 2018? Yes, it was wrong in 2018, Chris Harrison. This whole woke police, whatever you want to call it, movement is not something I know that you might not have been aware that these issues affected black people until 2020. Everybody was forced to listen, and you probably at that time, for the first time, became aware of the issues that affect this community.
Yes.
It is not fair for you to use your experience and the fact that this is wrong to you in 2021 to say that in 2018 it was not wrong. At one point in the interview, he says she was just a college girl who got dressed up to go to a party and have fun. At this point, I'm thinking, is it that Chris Harrison doesn't understand? Is it that he doesn't understand what the party signifies? It's not just getting dressed up to go to a party, Chris Harrison. It's a little bit more than that. And before we go any further, I just want to say that Chris Harrison has released a statement on his Instagram. Right, so he says in his apology that he doesn't speak for Rachel Kirkconnell, but he wanted to offer her grace and give her an opportunity to speak on her own. But I feel like you were speaking for her, Chris Harrison. You did come on there and you were speaking for her.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with Chris Harrison. But when I saw this interview, it rubbed me the wrong way, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anybody is perfect. I'm not saying that he is always going to say the right thing. But he said that he spoke on a topic that he didn't have knowledge of. That was something that you should have taken into consideration before. And when Rachel asked you about that issue, you probably should have stepped aside and said you wish not to, and you want to give Rachel Kirkconnell an opportunity to come and speak for herself and end it there.
Right. And what I want to say is Chris Harrison is very good at avoiding questions. That's his job as a host. He always has to avoid direct questions relating to who is the winner, who he thinks is going to make it far. He's always on press tours. When he's done filming The Bachelor, he knows how the story ends, and he is not supposed to say anything. So he's good at doing that. And I think that is what he should have exercised in this interview. But it was not an issue for him. The only person who should have said anything, spoken any at all on this matter was Rachel herself. Right, and I don't want to harp on Chris Harrison anymore. Let's move on to better things. Rachel Kirkconnell released an apology. I accepted her apology. A lot of persons were saying that it was very general and kind of like a copy and paste apology that some persons have made relating to similar situations. But if you compare her apology to the statement that Chris Harrison released, at least she has acknowledged that what she did was wrong and that she intends on learning and that she cannot speak for... I just appreciated her apology. Full stop.
I'm not going to be the one to hold it over her head, and even though she's already apologized, continue to be bitter about the fact that, no, you did this. People can't go back in the past and change what they've done. If you've done something, you've done it, and now it's about moving forward. She has acknowledged that she did something wrong. And she has acknowledged that she is trying to grow and learn from the situation, and you can now start holding that person accountable. So you said you are going to do X, Y, and Z. Let's see how you are going forward.
All right. One last point I wanted to make, but I'm going to do it very quickly. One is that later, all of the girls of the Bachelor this season released a message on Instagram commenting on this. It says, "We are the women of The Bachelor season 25. We are deeply disappointed and want to make it clear that we denounce any defense of racism. Any defense of racist behavior denies the lived and continued experiences of BIPOC, Black and Indigenous people of color, individuals. These experiences are not to be exploited or tokenized." So, and it goes on. So basically, they are releasing a joint message out there for everybody to realize they are a united front on this, in respect of this matter. Although we saw a lot of drama on the show, it was nice to see them come together and do this.
I agree. It's unfortunate how this event has unfolded. We would have wished maybe we would have even wanted to go back as far as 2018 to kind of stop Rachel from even attending something like that and educating her at that point, or wishing that she had been educated at that point. Rachel on the show seems like a nice girl, but you know, we don't see the whole story, and
Right.
I don't really want to talk on anybody's life. I don't want to denounce anybody or talk bad on their name. I don't know her. I don't know the full spectrum of who she is, and I don't want to, class her as a certain type of person.
Agreed. And we're not classing Chris Harrison either. We're just expressing how we feel about what he said.
We expected more from Chris Harrison. I think with Chris Harrison, it's more of an expectation and disappointment situation where we were expecting that he would have taken a particular position, and it was surprising to us to see that he took the position that he did.
And we're back. All right, guys. So you heard what we had to say. Since then, there has been more. Chris Harrison has now released another apology. So in that apology, he explained that he would be taking a step back from the franchise.
Right, a temporary step back. He's not going to be after the final rose, but we will be seeing him, I think, at the Women Tell All, because I think that was already filmed.
Yeah.
It seems to me like it might be a suspension. Maybe they gave him the option of deciding to temporarily take himself away, or maybe they wanted to give him the opportunity to say something and allowed him to take himself away. But it could be just like a temporary suspension for him, given the fact that he's getting so much heat from viewers and fans.
In addition to that, Rachel Lindsay, she has her own podcast, and she on that podcast had some things to say about how she felt about the interview. I just wanted to touch on that shortly. I mean, we don't have to stay on it long, but the essence of what she really had to say. One, she was happy to hear that Chris Harrison was taking time from the franchise. She felt like it was a necessary move. She expressed how she felt in the moment about the interview, because a lot of people have been talking about how graceful she was and how she handled it so well. On the other hand, people have been saying that, you know, why didn't she defend it more? Why wasn't she more assertive in her position? And she explained on that podcast that Black people don't get the benefit of the doubt, and because of that, she didn't want to come across as an angry Black woman, because if she did react, that's all people would talk about. So she and she makes mention of the fact that you can see her twisting her hand in the interview and kind of rocking back and forth, and that was really her just controlling her emotions so that she didn't react in a way that is all people would see.
And in addition to that, this was extra. It wasn't her personal podcast, so it's not like she could have gone off on a tangent on schooling Chris Harrison on what Black Lives Matter is and what all of this means. It's an interview for a job, so you can't really. She had to be political in the way she was handling it, and so now that she's on her own podcast, she has a chance to address it.
I feel like she needed a little understanding in that regard, for those who were kind of annoyed that she wasn't pushing a little bit more. With that said, Maria, what was your opinion on Chris Harrison's second apology?
All right, I didn't read his second apology. But the fact that he had to issue a second one feels like you said something before and it wasn't well received. So now you actually have to think about what persons are saying, because the heat is not coming off, and you have to be more
sincere.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the real purpose of the second apology might just have been to announce that he was stepping down?
Could be that too. I didn't think about it that way, but that makes sense to me.
In Rachel's podcast, she brings up the fact that she doesn't necessarily accept Rachel Kirkconnell's apology because she took 6 weeks to say something, anything. But were you apologetic the whole time, or are you now apologetic because everything is coming to a head?
I did hear information, not sure if it's true, might be a rumor, that she was contracted not to address it as yet, or
how can you put that in a contract? Especially when it have to do with the person's character in a scandal like that.
And then there was the other argument that persons were making that her apology was a copy and paste apology.
Well, I know, I disagree with that.
I do too.
I don't remember exactly what she said, but there's a little more emotion in her apology than there.
Yeah.
I mean, more than I can say was in Chris Harrison's initial apology.
Right, which is why I said that I appreciated her apology. I did. I mean, it did come late and everybody was wondering why she wasn't speaking on it. Yeah. But the way she addressed it, I appreciated it.
And even more than just Rachel Lindsay and Rachel Kirkconnell, a lot of Bachelor contestants came out just this week. Were very vocal. I don't know a lot of them. Maria would probably better know them, but I understand that Maria wasn't necessarily staying abreast of the situation. It's very good that the conversation at least is being had, and that is a move in the right direction. And now it's time for us to see where ABC takes it from there, or the Bachelor franchise takes it from there. I feel like now they probably are scrambling, because now it's time to choose a bachelorette. Who are they going to choose? There are a lot of persons of color. There might be more white women in the franchise, but there are a lot of good people of color. And before we even get into talking about this episode, I feel like Michelle just took my heart at the end of the episode. She took my whole heart. I was like, I love this girl.
So you want her to be bachelorette?
Oh gosh, man. I can't believe you don't choose her. I cannot believe.
Yeah, see, now you go to Rachel. I mean, all the signs are pointing to her.
Yes.
But
she's so funny. She has a personality, and I love that.
The clip at the end. For those of you guys don't know what we're talking about, there was a clip at the end where Michelle was being funny. They were toasting. You know, they usually toast at the end of the rose ceremony. She's like, oh wait, before I toast, I need to be looking good. So I'm gonna do some
I need to look good for the cameras.
I need to look good for the cameras, and she does some push-ups.
It showed her personality.
Let's close off on the drama with Chris Harrison. We're leaving it at the fact that he's stepping away from the franchise. There are many Bachelor Nation contestants who have come out and said things, and now we're moving on. Now, one other piece of tea. I know you guys are anxious to get to the episode, but there's one other piece of tea. I'm going to make it very quick. Claire is taking back Dale. I'm going to end it there. Let's move on.
I mean, it's none of our business. So, I mean, kudos to you, Claire. I'm happy you guys worked out whatever it is you worked out. I don't wish bad on anybody's relationship. I love to hear how the story develops. And let's get into the episode.
All right. So, we left off last week with Heather walking into the room, going straight to Matt, and Piper coming and saying, "What the beep?" We see her speaking with Matt. She basically expresses to Matt the same thing that she said to Chris Harrison last week when she pulled up in the minivan. That Hannah told her that they'd be a great fit and she had to come and meet him, so on and so forth. And we're wondering, okay, is Matt going to add her to this group of girls? She then goes back to the other girls, and they do not let up on her.
That was bullying. For everybody who heard the episode when I spoke about bullying, this is Channice now saying that was bullying. They brought the girl to tears and nobody cared.
There's no excuse for the way they were speaking to her and coming down hard on her, but the same question they were having as to why she coming in at week 6 thinking that she can just swoop in now. Hometowns are next week, and you think you can come in at this stage and be allowed to proceed? I shared in that frustration.
I feel like there was a better way to go about it.
Of course.
The girls were mean. They were bullies. That was extremely toxic. Somebody obviously new is coming into the situation. She doesn't know what stage you are, what's going on. Somebody can sit her down and have a conversation with her. Y'all could just talk to her like a human being.
Do you really think that she didn't know how far they were into the thing?
I don't think so. How would she know?
I guess maybe I never thought about that.
Because we don't know when production starts. We don't know how far production is and so on.
You don't ask that question before you drive up in your minivan and get quarantined and all that. You don't ask the producers like, how far are we in right now? Do you think, like what's going on? Tell me a little bit about what's happening in the house.
Understood, right? But there needed to have been somebody. I don't feel like any of them. Katie gone now and everybody just in it.
You guys should have seen Channice a while ago.
It's like you're searching for somebody to come and say, no, what we're doing is not right.
And I just want to say too, when we saw Jasenia being fiery with MJ, I was all for it.
Yes,
but when she was fiery with Heather, I was like, she's pushing it too far right now. But this is what I was trying to say to you before, that the problem wasn't just Queen V and Anna. It was most of the girls in the house. I was telling you from before, all of them were creating this hostile environment. It was every single one of them.
If this is how they were treating the new girls, then yes. No, then no. But I'm not seeing the evidence.
There was a clear divide, and this is exactly how the girls are behaving to the new girls. It's the same thing. You just never got to see it firsthand. But I'm telling you.
Now that I'm seeing it. No, but now that I'm seeing it.
All right.
Now that I'm seeing it.
Okay.
If this is any indication of how they acted towards Brittany, those girls are terrible. It don't matter that this girl is coming late. I understand, I understand that she late. I understand that next week is hometowns. How I'm going to just up and meet your family out of nowhere and you don't know nothing yet. Understood. But the way how they brought her to tears and nobody cared. That lack of emotion, sympathy, empathy, anything is telling. Matt eventually thinks about it. We see where Heather is breaking down. I mean, Matt never gets to actually have that conversation with her. I don't know if him watching this back now kind of opened his eyes as to, because he probably was just as confused as me as to how the bullying came into place, because he heard about it secondhand. Watching this back now, he probably got some clarity as well. And he probably never know that that's how them treat Heather.
Yep, and you see when she was crying, when he was sitting her down and sending her home, and she was very anxious as to what he was going to say, I think she was crying because she feels extremely embarrassed.
Yes.
Because she put herself out there in the first place. She knew, from the first place that there's a chance she wouldn't get through.
Yes.
But the fact that she pushed herself out there and then the girls come berate her on national television, it just makes it even worse.
I feel like Bachelor did her dirty.
Yeah.
From the minivan to the quarantine videos to the girls to just sending her right back out the door and then back to the minivan again. She chose
back in the minivan. She didn't even get the limo, guys.
They did her dirty. Poor Heather.
I know. I mean, it was an embarrassment to her. It was not a good look.
It wasn't. And when Matt sat her down, I thought it was very important. One of the things that he said, where he was giving the girls affirmations and telling them all the time that he does see his wife in the room. You look away if at this point he was to introduce somebody else when he already sees his wife in the room. Like, why would he introduce a new factor to that equation? All reasonable. It's all reasonable, this decisions being made there, but I just feel like the way that it was gone about, now I understand why Dylan made that tweet, because I understand that Dylan is Heather's friend. That's why he said that Bachelor doesn't care about people's mental health, because to put Heather through that, I mean, she did put herself out there, but I don't think she knew what she was getting herself into. And unfortunately, Heather, you know what? I send you virtual hugs. I really do feel terrible about what happened to you.
Yes, I agree.
So we're going to the rose ceremony.
The rose ceremony now. I'm just going to say who left. Chelsea, my girl.
Oh yeah, you like Chelsea. No, me didn't know that she'd have gone from day one.
I knew she wasn't gonna make it far, but she left in this episode, and so did Serena C. There are two girls at this point left in the house who have not had a one-on-one.
Oh yes, this is a very important point.
Jasenia and Abigail. Now every week there are 2 one-on-ones and 1 group date. So we obviously are gonna assume that the 2 one-on-ones are gonna go to the 2 girls who have not had one yet.
Reasonable.
Jasenia and Abigail.
Yes.
The very first one-on-one of this week went to Serena P, who already got her one-on-one on the picnic date.
Blew my mind. Just 2 weeks ago, Serena P went on a one-on-one. How she getting another one?
Yeah. This
Him
one
here tantric yoga, and he's like, who I want? I want to brace up against.
What he said was that I think he was trying to form a deeper connection with her, because I think he knows that he likes her, but I think there was something holding him back, and so he wanted this date to bring them closer together. It's a more physical date. Maybe he wanted to see if there was a physical connection too. Maybe there's all that.
Maybe. Yeah, that's a good point.
And so he chose her for this date. Any comments on that?
Yeah, she didn't like it.
She did not even like that date. And I thought that when she said that Matt would feel away, because he was very open in the confessionals about how he really felt close to her and he felt a connection when they were doing it, and she just outrightly came and said, yeah, I didn't like that. I'm like, okay, so there was a disconnect.
I don't know, there was a disconnect, and he still gave her, he said he appreciated her honesty.
I thought it was just a slap in the face to Abigail and Jasenia that they didn't get, none of them got a one-on-one, but yeah.
Agreed. I agree with that.
Okay, going to the group date now. I don't think there was a day part to the group date.
No, I actually have here no day portion. There was only
it was just the night part. So on the night part we had Bree, Michelle, Abigail, Kit,
Piper.
Each conversation, Bree told Matt that she had to resign from her job to stay on the show.
I would never.
Yeah, me either. I would have spoken to him before I resigned, because next thing I go resign and then I'm the next one out the door. She resigned and then spoke to him.
No, girl. No, girl.
She trusts him.
No, did you paint white on your face and put a red nose? No, not a clown. Don't do that. I expected more of Brie. And she said it was her dream job. This wasn't just any job to her. What, girl? No. For this man? For him? Babe girl, do not let no man make you cut off your source of income. Baby girl, no. Especially in a situation where you're not sure you're gonna get chosen in the end. Baby girl, I like you, Brie, but I like you, but I cannot stand with you in that decision.
Going through what the rest of the girls said, Michelle said that she didn't think that feeling the way she feels now was possible. Loved that conversation.
And she said that she was 100% committed to him.
There we go. Rachel also said she's never felt like this before, and that it's terrifying. When she's not around him, she's always thinking about him. Yeah, Kit now says that she wants to live her life and she wants to travel. And
she's just like, I'm a long-term investment, so I'm gonna have to go to school and I'm gonna have to travel before you think about putting any babies in me.
And before marriage too, she didn't want to get married either. And I was thinking, and so she was basically telling him all these things. So like, all right, I'm trying to let you know, like, it's your time to run now. Like, if you don't want this, then leave. And he's stuck with it. So that made me wonder if he's really true to wanting marriage at the end of this then. Because if somebody's telling you, I don't want this marriage thing, and you're still allowing them to stay, then what are your intentions?
We did ask that last week still.
Abigail was also on that group date, so she clearly didn't get a one-on-one.
So she goes to Matt, and she's saying to him that she started to picture having a future with him and was wondering if he felt the same about her. And he explained to her that initially he felt a very strong connection with her, and because he was so sure of that connection, he kind of put that to the side and started trying to form other connections with the other girls. And then he started to form stronger connections, and that connection got left behind, and so he was just like, let me just send you home.
Yeah, which I respected. But usually at this stage that happens because you have to bring it down to 4 girls out of 8. So you kind of have to just act on what you're feeling right now in the moment, who you have stronger connections with. You have to be very direct with those thoughts.
Abigail from Bachelor in Paradise.
Yes. So why I went through to explain what everybody's conversation was with Matt on that night, it's because out of all the conversations that Matt had, out of everything that all of the girls said, Bree telling him that she resigned from her job for him, he gave the group date rose to Rachel anyways.
But I have a note here that when he was talking to Rachel, he asked her if her mother is going to cry when she sees him. So I don't know if they've had conversations about her parents being a certain type of way. And she told him that they'll just be happy that she's happy.
Let me tell you, right? When him they give her the group date rose and then tell her after same have a special surprise for her one away,
the man choose her, dog.
I was like, this girl is the winner.
Done.
The show is over now.
Why we bothering? Why we bothering?
She won.
Why are we bothering?
She like it's a group date.
The boringness she
No, like it's a group date, guys. There's never usually a portion at the end of the group date where they go and have a one away after the group date. You usually just done when you give out the group date rose. That is it.
She gets a one away now. Note. I was like, need to ask Maria if this ever happened before.
No, I've never seen it. I've on all of the seasons when we watch, we never see this yet.
Come on, come see this.
Come on, come see this. I'm not glad actually. I'm not glad
come see this because from the first episode that we recorded, I did think Rachel was going to come up, but she's not coming up the way I thought she was going to come up. I thought she was going to, her personality was going to come out. We don't see nothing. She's just pretty. What do you think?
Yeah.
You guys tell us. What do you think? I really want to hear what other people think. Do you think she has a personality? Do you think she deserves that group date rose? I mean, out of everybody's story.
Oh boy. I just wanted to say too, the girls' faces when he gave Rachel the group date rose.
Oh jeez, I felt devastated for them.
What I want to say about these girls, and I think I may have said it already, this is the most emotional set of girls I've seen. Like, they're very emotional. I'm not used to this.
After that scene where them dance into the night with the man singing, he was
I love
very
Black,
good.
by the way. Yes. I love him. I always did.
So
you know his song.
Wake me up when it's
yes. This is the first time I actually recognized the artist.
I felt like I knew his face from somewhere, but I didn't know
that's
where.
the guy.
So then after that scene, Kit goes to Matt's apartment and she tells him that she isn't 100% sure he's going to get down on one knee, and next week is hometowns, and that is not a situation where you try to figure things out. You can't try to figure things out when you're getting your family involved. It's either you have it figured out already or you just don't bother. To me, Matt never really seemed like him care. He must be like, alright, yeah, come now.
No, he did. There's still other girls left who we have strong connections with. Probably
so clearly
even
the wife's
stronger
still
connections.
in the room.
Yeah,
Rachel's still...
Rachel is still there. Why are we doing this? Rachel is still there.
Why are we even having the rest of the season? Like, honestly. Nima Colon must boring to them now. Why them don't just go home? It's not like them have more countries to go to, so them just go stick it out so that them can go to this country, that country, in the same hotel.
They're really into Matt. All of them are really into Matt.
No, but Matt is really into Rachel. I feel like him a waste Michelle time at this point.
I love Michelle. Jasenia got a one-on-one. It was a drifting date.
I have a note here. It says, they were learning how to drift but it was Matt kissing her on the trunk of the car for me.
Yeah.
There was no connection with Jasenia, obviously.
You know what I think it is? He has already formed stronger connections with other girls, and once that has happened, it's kind of hard to sneak your way into it. Maybe if Jasenia had gotten an earlier date, then it would have probably stuck with him longer, and she probably would have been on his mind. But you know, you notice that the girls who are left are the girls who had the first set of one-on-ones.
Yeah.
So it's just that when you get in there early, it will either go good for you or bad for you. If you get a rose on your early one-on-one dates, it's most likely that you're gonna make it towards the end. So Jasenia said that she's falling in love with Matt.
Oh Lord.
And
you know what really perplexed me, Maria?
What?
I don't want to know how you feel.
What?
When the people them, and I'm not just Matt alone, you only like a one-on-one, you tell people, pour out your life heart story. And you see the person reach over, take up the rose. Not going in your head, you know. You say, alright, now bring it. Yes, rose time. And then them have it on a tongue.
Yeah.
Until them say, but yes, them talk and them say nice things about you, and you're this and you're that. But yes. Why take up the rose? Why take up the rose? Why do that to the people them?
No, I agree, but I've been saying this for years. I've been saying it like, why does it have to be a rule that you need to pick up the rose even if you're not giving it out? Left the rose on the little plate. Lefty. Lefty rose.
So Jasenia, you could have seen the blood run out her face. The girl frightened.
So she got sent home.
Yes.
Next up,
we have another rose ceremony.
it's the next
It's
rose
the first
ceremony.
time we have 2 rose ceremonies.
You know, it's because they want hometowns to start fresh.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So the person who leaves is Piper. So the 4 girls for hometowns, I think we guessed them, minus Serena P.
Yeah, minus Serena.
But I did say that I was thinking Serena P. So I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
you did say
plug
that. Yeah, you did say that. I said who? I said Piper or Jasenia, and none of them. I made it.
The 4 girls for hometowns next week: Michelle, we have Rachel, Serena P, and we have
Bree, imagine you give up a job and we not even remember you.
Bree. Not when you know.
She not going.
I think she's going home next.
I say when Piper.
Wait, I said no.
Matt walks over and he's like, let me walk you out. She's like, alright then, and she just vexed.
She just walked straight into the car. She
don't turn, she don't touch this door. She just said, and slam door. She said, yeah, whatever. Because y'all waste my time right now. I don't know what you have to tell me, say.
I was just thinking like, girl, I know it's sad, but it's a risk to come on this show.
No, Maria. No, but here it is that she don't express love verbally. And she tell the man this. And in that same conversation, she said she thinks she falling in love with him. Mind you, him never reciprocate that, you know. We said that last week. But it coming like so she never pick it up.
She was scarred by the whole experience of having to be vulnerable and open up, and then it just end up flashing right back into her face.
But she a Piper, so life goes sometime. Bachelor in Paradise for you.
Yeah, I'd love to see her there. So guys, that was the episode. Are you excited for hometowns? Let us know who you think is going to make it through next week.
Don't forget to like the video,
share, comment, and subscribe.
And click the notification bell so that you can know when we have dropped a new video. We love you guys. We love you, chiclets. It's been a while since we've said that. We love you, little chiclets. Next week, guys.
Adios.